Hey everyone, welcome to the Hornet King channel, and in this video I'll be removing an absolutely massive German yellowjacket colony decided to make its nest in a client's wall. I brought the nest home and fed it to my animals, my 2 emus, my chickens, and my Rhea. Here's the video, check it out. I'm the Hornet King, and I removed some incredible and insane wasp nests. Okay, so you got German going in and out of this whole spot here. You can hear them very loud inside the wall. Inside, there's a soft spot, so I'm actually going to remove them from out here. Okay, so they're already displeased. They're going in a couple spots. They're going in like right there, and they're also going, oops, they're also going in right here. So I'm going to have to take off the siding and then cut into the sheathing there and expose the nest. Get back to me. So this species is the German yellowjacket, Vespula germanica-anthic, and this queen had decided to build her colony inside of this wall cavity. Since the drywall wasn't completely compromised on the inside, the client wasn't really prepared for me to come in and remove the nest through the inside, so she'd asked if I could pull the nest from the outside since the siding had already been compromised from the previous owner and they had pulled it down and just kind of tacked it back up with some nails. So she asked if I could just pull the nest out through the exterior wall, which was not a problem since it was underneath of an overhang and I didn't have to worry about there being any kind of leaks or anything when I was done. So I said, absolutely, I could do that. So once I pulled the siding down, there was actually like a cardboardy like exterior wall sheathing, which wasn't plywood or anything. So yellowjackets had easy access into this wall cavity. People always ask, how in the world do yellowjackets get into the interior wall cavity? 9 times out of 10, which pretty much is every time, is that they get in behind the siding, which just hangs there, it doesn't seal anything, and they have access to behind the siding and get where the exterior wall sheathing has any kind of compromise, whether it's a hole or if there's a gap in between joints or something. And in this case, there were 2 little holes, so the yellowjackets are easily able to get into that wall cavity. So when I come out to remove a colony for someone, the first thing is finding the nest, and since I already kind of knew where this nest was going to be, it made finding and removing this nest pretty easy. So once I have this open, I'm just doing damage control and vacuuming up as many of the workers inside of the nest, and also ones coming back from foraging. And when you're removing a colony, there's always going to be ones coming back from foraging. You could be here for 3 hours straight, and there will still be one coming back from foraging. It just never fails. The second I turn off the vacuum, there'll be 3 or 4 of them coming back, and it's just the way it is. So I just kind of take my time while removing the nest, and that way I'm catching as many of the returning foragers as well as I can while I'm doing the removal. And when they come back, they're going to the original entranceways. So even though that this whole sheathing has been pulled off, they still go to their original spots where they know was the original entrance and exit for this nest. They won't just fly right to the middle of the nest and fly in. So they'll go right to their original spots, and you'll see them doing that. So I kind of bounce the vacuum nozzle back and forth from either side. I did have a second vacuum, which I pretty much had all season this season. Say that 3 times fast. But I did have a second vacuum that was vacuuming up all the returning foragers from one part, but did end up falling down at one point from the duct tape got weak. So I just kind of left it down and just vacuumed up with the one vacuum. But at certain points, I would just I'd vacuum up all the ones off the comb, and then I'd move the vacuum nozzle over to where one of the entranceways was, and vacuum a bunch of returning foragers from there, and just kind of keep doing that as I'm removing the nest in its entirety. So a question I get a lot in the comments is how this colony is started. It's all started by one queen. So one queen founded this colony in the beginning of spring. When did this colony start, you think? Well, let me tell you, it started late May, early June. That's when German yellow jacket queens are looking for new places and new cavities to build their colonies up in. When this queen initially found this cavity, she started this nest, and it was about the size of a golf ball. It starts about the size of an acorn as far as the actual comb is concerned, and then she encases it in envelope, aka the paper that they use, and it's a little tiny spherical ball of paper, and it's about the size of a golf ball. And then as her daughters start hatching throughout the season, they start doing a lot of the work, and the queen then stops foraging. Her sole role is to stay inside the nest and start laying as many eggs as she can, as the workers go out and catch bugs and collect building materials to make more paper. And the more daughters start hatching, the more exponentially this thing starts growing. So towards the end of the season, those workers that are building these worker cells, they'll start building the larger cells. And those larger cells, the queen lays the exact same egg that she's been laying all season and become sterile females. She'll now lay that same egg into a larger cell. So that new larva that's been developing in a larger cell becomes a reproductive. It's not necessarily a queen yet because she doesn't have her own colony. So it's better just to refer to her as a reproductive. So towards the end of the season, once those new males and queens hatch out and they mate and then they leave the nest, the new queens will look for a new place to hibernate over the winter time. All the males will die, all the workers die, and the original queen dies. So each one of these colonies that I removed that are super huge, super active, they will dwindle. They will wane towards the end of the season and become completely inactive. The nests will just become dried up paper inside of these cavities, and no one reuses these nests. They will just die in there, and all that material that they collected and things, none of that gets reused. Now, if a new queen comes into the same space and decides to build her nest, they will take down some parts of the nest to build their own nest, but they're not reusing materials. They're not reusing the original comb, nothing like that. They are literally building a new nest, either right beside it or tearing parts of it down to make room for their nest. So now I'm starting to pull this comb out. I have to separate the layers, and that way I can vacuum up as many of the workers off of the nest as I can. I don't want to stick a super active nest inside the bag because then I just got to vacuum them up later. So I'd rather just separate the comb layers apart and then vacuum up as many of the individuals in between the layers as I can, and then put those comb into the bag, and that way I can just dump them right out for my birds when I get home. And again, taking my time here and separating the layers, and it provides more time for the returning foragers to come back into the space, and then I can just vacuum them up from there. So if you watch closely, you can see returning foragers flying into that cavity and then landing either on the back wall or on the comb, and then now I can just vacuum them up from there. And even though this was a kind of a tight cavity, there was a lot of comb and a lot of larvae and pupae inside of this nest. And it's kind of odd that they were chewing on the back wall, or in this case, the drywall, instead of just chewing through that cardboard exterior sheathing. I would think that'd be a lot easier to chew through than the drywall itself, but for whatever reason, they decided to chew through the seam where the two drywall pieces met inside. So you could kind of hear that soft spot in the one part of that video when I was tapping on it. You could hear that it was soft from them chewing through it. Look at all the workers and males and everybody else inside of here. I don't see any queens at this point. So the original queen was either killed or I vacuumed her up and I didn't know it, but I wasn't really seeing her. And I don't see any new queens. I do see a lot of males, so the workers were pretty busy laying eggs at some point. But the new queens haven't been fully developed yet. But there were queen cells on the comb itself. So once I remove the nest completely, I spray a little bit of spider and scorpion spray inside the cavity. It's not really to kill anything. It's more just to block the pheromone marker, since this is already a super compromised exterior wall sheathing. And since that cavity is going to be obviously very open, it's good to spray a little something in there just to try to block that pheromone marker.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Just a few coming back from foraging, but significantly less than what there was. Siding's kind of back in place until they can get it properly repaired. And that's it.
Oh, look at all these birdies. Hello, Doris. Oh, look at these little birdies. Hello, birdies. Birdies? Oh, look at these pesky little birdies. Hello, Doris. Hey, birdies. Come on, birdies. Ooh, look at all these nests for these birdies. Good birdies. Enjoy, birdies. Come on, Rhea-the-Rhea. You know how to get through there. Come on. Come on. Come on, Rhea-the-Rhea. Come on. You go, Doris. We'll go grow Doris. You go, Doris. Is that good, Doris? Stop pecking my phone. That's a good girl, Doris. Get it down, birdie. You're dropping a lot of them, you know. Oh my word. It's ridiculous. Here. Come on, go girl, Doris. Good, Doris? Oh, a pesky little red birdie. What a pesky little red birdie. Hello, Rhea-the-Rhea. You made it in, birdie. Good for you. Hello, Rhea-the-Rhea. You good, birdies? Back up, Rhea-the-Rhea. Oh, sweetie birdie. Hello, Rhea-the-Rhea. Hello, Doris. Well, enjoy the rest of your nest, birdies.
Alright, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to check out this video. If you guys enjoyed this content, drop in the comments, let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for future videos, something like see me covered in an upcoming video, also drop in the comments, let me know. If you guys haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so and hit that bell notification down below, and that way you guys get an update anytime I do post a video. Alright, everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to check out this video and supporting my channel, and I'll catch you on the next video.